second half of the day here, we're going to start wrapping up. Normally I like to go last, but going to admit Big T's training today is going to blow your socks off, so it has to be main event. So what I'm going to teach you today is how to sell anything to anyone. I do want a bit of audience participation in this. We're getting to the end of the day. People are getting tired. It's a long day. So when I speak to you, I want a response. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's fucking go. There will be a bit of Wolfie today. So everybody seen The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
Will we all do the warm-up? No, I'm only joking. Right. We're going to kick in. So what are we going to learn today? When does the sale really start? How we need to funnel our leads in, how to optimize our sales pipeline, how we qualify clients before a call, how to set yourself up the best chance of closing, why my script is how it is, how you need to use it, and what are you going to leave with today? Knowledge of how to set yourself up with the best success for calls, how to use the script to its greatest effect, how I sell, and why I'm so fucking good at it, and obviously very humble about it. So, I'm going to go into a wee bit of backstory on me first, because some of you may have joined the CM knowing who Tony was, but you didn't know who I was. So who the fuck am I to teach you this? In case you didn't know, sales is my baby. Like, my close rate, going off Calendly, is 90% plus when I use the method I'm going to teach you today. It drops to 83% when I'm just winging it. I've been in sales roles since I was 18. I've won sales awards in every company I've worked in, including Vodafone, Toyota, Audi. Sold the largest ever deal in Vodafone regional business at £5 million plus when I was 25 years old. That's the wee award. It took me to Tuscany and I made a show of myself in front of the CEO. As you can probably imagine if you've been out a night out with me. So let's get into it. Your sales process starts early, okay? Too many of you get caught up with the sales call when you're actually fucking up step one without even realizing it. So your social media pages are your shop window. Why would anyone buy if it looks like shit? They can buy from anyone. Why should they buy from you? There's enough business for everybody in this room to be successful. There's enough business for every single one of you to be doing 10K plus months, okay? But it's a competitive marketplace, and only the strongest will survive, so don't be soft. Your Instagram page should look like ours, okay? See anything that you see us do and you think, fuck, that looks like a good idea, take it, copy it, okay? There's nothing that we do that you shouldn't be doing as well, okay? So, if we start at the top, SEO headline for searching, okay? I've got some of the guys to do this recently. If you search on Instagram, and you can do this today if you want to see if it works or not, and type in business coaching for fit pros, we will come up probably number one, okay? Unless somebody else is doing that too. Number two, what is it you do and who do you help? Make it clear. We build coaches six-figure businesses that last. Authority statement or something they will want to hear. No outbounding needed, okay? That's something that you want to hear. What I would love to have on there someday is we've taken 100 coaches to 10K a month. That's an authority statement, okay? So I think PDK, you maybe have a good one where it's I've helped X number of people lose X pounds or something like that, okay? So that's a good idea. DM me buzzword, get them in your DMs, okay? And then your last one there, give shit away on Linktree. Stop hoping you're gonna wake up to 1 million filled out application forms. It's just not gonna happen, okay? Get people in your DMs and get conversations with them. There is absolutely no point in sending people to your Linktree to fill out an application form that they're not gonna respond to. This next thing, you'll have probably seen this on our Instagram. There's pretty much like as many slides you can put in one of these as possible, okay? Again, copy this and do it. Look at ours, see what we've done. Why should they trust you? How can you help them? And improve it. What results are you actually generating? Pin that to the top of your page. You can see there we've done like a massive sort of landscape photo, okay? We're gonna change that to the photo that we took today, and we're gonna update that at every live event and keep it fresh, okay? Do that. Do that with your own client events. If you take people out, do something like that, okay? Focus on generating more conversations, not applications, like I just said there, okay? Unless you have incredible authority, okay? Very few people will fill out application forms and convert to a sale. Simple as. People fill out application forms because they're nosy. They want to see what's at the end of the application form. We need more organic conversations from people who are semi-bought into what you do, okay? So this goes over the stuff that we've talked about with you time and time again about warming up the audience, nurturing the audience, and getting them bought into what you do. You want to have more organic conversations with that. That's why we don't teach you to send 100 cold outbounds a day to get one lead, okay? It's complete bollocks. Whether that's inbounds from a lead gen post or outbounds from a peacemaker and things like that, okay? So that's the only outbounds we really recommend is send the likes of the peacemakers, send the likes of the dead shots. If you're brand new to Nexus and you don't know what that is, go watch the Marbella event. We teach you how to outbound. Ultimately, you need to speak to more people to increase the amount of sales you can generate. Application forms hinder this, so focus on DM me, not fill out my form. Okay? So selling DMs. This isn't a sell by chat training. That's up later. So I'm only going to touch on this very, very, very briefly. But if you aren't doing it already, you should be. You need to be using the sell and DM script. The purpose of selling DMs is not to sell the program, it's to sell the call. We want people on calls with you, okay? Because calls convert so much higher. I fucking hate whenever I see people posting it. Like, I love that you post in a win and be like, got a sale, but see when you said, oh, I didn't even have to do a call, I'm like, oh, fuck me, right? That's only gonna last for so long. You have to be getting people on the calls, all right? We need people on calls. Closing over DMs is hard and requires a lot of authority and a lot of lead flow. Tony and Dargan can do it over DMs because they have so many leads coming in. So just because they're doing it doesn't mean you should do it too, okay? Do sales calls whenever possible. Be sure to pre-qualify prospects to death in the DMs, okay? Don't just try to jump to a call with anyone. Both of you need to know this is going to be worth both your time, okay? So when we're booking people in, when you're sending your Calendly link to them, tell them you'll wait around for 10 minutes until they confirm they're booked in. That's actually on the script, okay? So just in case it doesn't come through. Of course it's going to come through, right? Don't be afraid to suggest a time that suits before sending the link, okay? Your Calendly might have 20 slots open. But say to them, I can do 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Does that suit you? Here's the link, right? They book in 4 p.m. on Tuesday. Or Thursday, as I put there. Have qualification questions on your Calendly form, okay? Take away the type form and start putting your qualification forms on the Calendly form. There's a great saying, if you want a lot of leads, make it easy. If you want good leads, make it hard. Once they're booked in, now send them the application form if you are going to do one, okay? So what we do whenever we're booking somebody in for a call now is we get them booked in first, and if we feel like we need an application form from them, then once they're booked in, we go, here, fill that out first as well. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. We don't really care. I just want the call. And never allow them to book in for more than 3 days ahead. You can set this up in Calendly, okay? Don't let them book in for 2 weeks in advance. They're not going to show up. They're just not. It just doesn't happen. So, the Calendly form. Here's the questions that you want to ask. Do they need to share anything? Sometimes somebody will put something valuable in that. How committed are they? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 5. Are they willing to invest between X, 20% lower than what your program costs? Okay, and why 25% higher than what your program costs? You can take photos of this if you want, but I'm going to put this on the lab anyway. And are they the sole decision maker in the process? If not, bring them to the call. Like, I just won't accept, like if somebody comes onto the call with me and they're like, oh, I need to ask my wife. I was like, I don't have the call. I'm like, right, well, it's not wasting my time. So don't do it. As I said, never more than 3 days.
See could you go back? Sorry. See the one 20% lower, 25% higher. Is that, do you know what I sometimes say about per day, or is that just?
Yeah, I do that on like a per day basis. So if your program is, say, like 697 or whatever, divide that by 90 days, okay? And then do 20% lower and 25% higher. I'm going to do questions at the end, by the way, so I'm just going to rattle through this first. But the reason why it's 20% lower and 25% higher, I've done like content lists 3 or 4 times, so if you haven't seen it, the reason why is whenever they come on, they're going to see it and they're going to be like, right, okay, well, yeah, I can't quite afford that, but I can definitely afford that. And they're going to immediately think it's going to be somewhere in the middle. It's going to be somewhere in the middle. So whenever you actually hit them with the price, they're thinking here, and it's here. And they're like, fuck, that's a bargain. I was thinking it's going to be more than that. That meme, the black guy doing that, that's me, right? Never more than 3 days ahead. Now, it says 5 there in the screenshot because I don't take calls on a Friday and I don't take calls on the weekend, so that allows it to open up the Monday. But yeah, never more than 3 days. Use Calendly workflows. This is how many workflows are involved whenever you book in for a call with me. Okay, so that's for 2 separate calls that I do. So people don't do this. I am literally like a fucking crazy ex-girlfriend. I am going to be in your inbox and your emails and your text messages. Like, did you see my email? Did you see this? Did you see that? See this? I am all over it with social proof, with just stories, with case studies, everything. So like you literally get hit with 4 emails before you even get in a call with me, and you also get hit with 4 text messages, basically just being like, did you see the email I sent you? You also get a reminder as well, so you get a booking confirmation, you get a reminder 24 hours before via email, via text message, you get a reminder an hour before via email, via text message. Like, there's no excuse for not showing up to a call with me. And then if you book in for a second call, I do it all over again. So this is part of Calendly's Pro Plan, and people just don't seem to use it, and I don't know why. It's part of what you're paying for. So if somebody books in for a call, wants 60 to 90 minutes of my time, they better fucking show up, and I'll make sure that they don't just forget. So as I said there, 16 automations, crazy ex-girlfriend, that's me. Yeah. The pre-sales video, okay? You need to be doing a pre-sales video as well, okay? So as part of those automations, a pre-sales video gets sent out. Ours is actually filmed by Tony as opposed to me, so they're constantly speaking to both of us. The first automation should be a pre-sales video. Sell them on the call, right? We're not trying to sell them into the program. Sell them on the call. We want them to show up. The more people that show up, the more conversations we have, the more people we close, okay? So sell them on showing up to the call. Tell them what they expect. Show case studies. Tell them if they're a good fit. Like, don't pussyfoot around this. Tell them if they're a good fit. I'm going to ask you to join the program, and I want you to say fuck yes or fuck no. Simple as that. If I get somebody on the call and they just say, oh, I'm not going to make a decision today, I'll be like, right, well, I'm not having the call then. So that's basically it. You don't have time to sit and have hour-long conversations with people that are never going to sign up. All right? So have this send automatically in Calendly. And again, also send it via DM when they've booked in as well. Just be like, here, watch that before we have our call. Make sure they watch it, okay? Because as soon as you get into the call, you can be like, did you watch that video? And they'll be like, yeah or no. And if they say no, then you got to do the whole qualification thing. Is your wife okay with this? Blah, 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 blah. Reminder messages. There's nothing worse than no-shows. It's an energy killer. You're sitting there at the computer waiting for your wee Zoom call to show up. They don't come in. And then you're pissed off the rest of the day. So as I said, use the workflows and make sure that you're reminding them to show up. So when's the actual sales training start? We're going to get into that now. But all of these processes are really, really, really key, because if you don't have all of these set up, you're not going to have as many people showing up for calls. You're not going to have as many people primed for calls, and you're just not going to get as many calls together. So where did I learn how to sell? You're going to love this, Darren. So first off, I had a series of really great sales managers and mentors, okay, that nurtured me and showed me the ropes when I was going through sales. I was very blessed in that. A lot of people end up with terrible sales managers that just milk them dry for sales. My guys were really good. Use me for this. If you're struggling with sales, I'm in the group, come to me. Everybody's always said I've had the gift of the gab ever since I was a wee kid. Personally, semi-believe in it, semi-don't. Everybody's got a different personality type. Some people are more designed for sales. As a kid, I just never took no for an answer. Like, my mum would be like, no, you're not watching wrestling. And I'll be like, I want to watch wrestling. And I'll be coming up with like objection handling without even realizing it. It was like, I even know Carl, who's come to work for us there, I kicked his tooth out when we were wrestling when we were kids, and I didn't get to play SmackDown for years. So always objection handling. But the key parts here are the bottom bits. Thousands of reps and conversations over 13 years plus. So there's really no reason for you to come in. You've started doing sales calls for the first time, and you're expecting to be awesome at it, okay? We can't always be awesome at everything right away. It's trial and error. Now, when I first got into sales, I would say I was pretty good at it right away, but there's still, my close rate wouldn't be what it is now. So you just need to keep refining it, looking at data, listening back to your calls, record your calls. Whether you have the balls to ask them, can you record it or not? You should do, but you can record it on your voice notes on your phone or something like that. But the biggest thing that ever changed my life was one seminar that I went to, and that was with the real Wolf of Wall Street. So I went to see Jordan Belfort when I was 21, 22, down in Dublin. It was the basis for all of my sales conversations that I've ever had. They've all been built around his system, which I'm going to run you through now. It's called the straight line system, okay? How do we get the conversation from A, which is hello, to B, which is the sale? So Jordan's straight line system works like this, okay? So really simple concept. A is the initial hello, B is you taking money, okay? And it basically goes like this. We're always looking to keep them on the line, okay? So the red is, oh yeah, so like I play golf down near you. Oh yeah, I play golf too, blah, 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 blah. And you're just talking shit and you're just talking shit and you're not actually talking about it. No, we need to get back onto the sale, right? Okay, oh, you play golf? I play golf too, great, move on, okay? This is you talking about your kids. Nobody gives a fuck, right? Back to the sale. This is you talking about fucking whatever you're doing this weekend. Nobody gives a fuck. Back to the sale, right? Your job is to get money. That is the whole basis of it. The objective is to close the sale. Look at it as a game. How do I get this person to close, right? So the whole concept of the system is you're going to talk about this. They're going to talk about their whole job is to ask questions and take you off the line. Your whole job is to get them back on the line. Okay? So the objective should be really obvious. Get the sale. The person is booked in with you for a reason, right? They haven't done it just because fucking I'm just going to book in, spend an hour talking to this guy, right? Unless you're Keegan, sometimes you do get that. So sales is not dirty, right? You're facilitating this person to do something you both know they should do, okay? If you don't think they should do it, don't have a call on. Simple. If you're like, this person shouldn't give me all this money, that's not a good fit, don't have the call, okay? Don't sell something somebody shouldn't buy or is of shit quality. That's where sales becomes unethical. That's what's dirty, not the act of sales itself. And if you ever take Jordan Belfort's course, which you don't really need to, because I'll fucking tell you about it all anyway, that's what he talked about. That's what he said, like my whole like Wolf of Wall Street period, the problem wasn't the sales, the problem was what I was selling. He goes, I was selling a scam. It was all a scam. That was the problem, was he was selling a scam, not that he was selling, okay? So I would say they haven't booked out an hour out of their day for the good of their health. But in this industry, they literally have. They have literally booked an hour out of their day for the good of their health because you can help them with it, okay? You could change this person's life. Literally, you could change this person's life, right? They want to buy it. They need it. Fucking sell it to them. Fucking sell it to them. Take that money off them. Get them into your program and fucking sell it to them, right? And don't be a pussy about it, okay? Do not pussyfoot around on it. Fucking sell the program to them. If you feel like they should buy it, sell it to them, okay? Your lack of sales ability or desire to be a salesperson could be the difference, and I'm going to go in harder here, between this person leading a happy, healthy, fulfilling life and having their foot cut off from diabetes and dying. That's literally, I want you to go to that extreme when you think about it. I literally want you to think of it that way, okay? Because that is the difference. Perspective. It's all perspective. So you aren't selling something shit like a snake oil salesman. You're selling the opportunity at a better life. Still think sales is sleazy or necessary?
Necessary, baby.
So let's commit to being good at sales for the benefit of your future clients. Sound fair enough?
Yep.
75% of your ability to sell comes from confidence. Sometimes you'll need to generate results to be confident in what you sell. So at least be confident in how good the service will be, okay? If you get onto a sales call and the guy's like, oh, well, you know, it's kind of good and I get these results and blah, 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 who the fuck's going to buy that, right? Whereas you get onto the sales call and it's like, fuck me, like, people love this, I'm getting this, I'm doing this, and blah, 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 blah. You're basically Daniel Dargan on the phone. Become Daniel Dargan on the phone, right? That's what you need, okay? So the word con man, I want to go into this a wee bit. It stands for confidence man. That's what a con man is, okay? They were able to sell shit because they displayed confidence in its ability to work. Imagine the confidence you could have selling something that actually does work, right? So sales and persuasion are useful, okay? Being good at sales and persuasion isn't just to make money. Imagine being able to convince your partner you don't need to take the bins out every time, or getting a better deal next time you're buying a car, and so on, right? These jokes aren't hitting, so move on. Tough crowd. So let's get to the script, right? Rapport building, right? We've touched on that, very, very basic, right? Build rapport, 1 to 2 minutes max, okay? Like I said there, think about the line. We're always trying to get back onto the line, okay? If you talk about sport, don't linger on it. I don't give a fuck what your golf handicap is. You play golf, sweet, me too. Move on, right? This one is one that I've been practicing there for probably, I don't know, last 6 months, maybe a year. I'm not actually even sure if I've added it to the script yet. It'll be going in. But ask them, are they adventurous? Does anybody remember me asking them if they were adventurous on the sales call with me? You were recently, so you will. Okay, so studies prove that people who consider themselves to be adventurous tend to be impulse buyers. If they say it out loud, it encourages impulsivity further, and it creates a funny interaction and increases rapport between both of you. So literally at the start, just say, here, quick question, would you consider yourself adventurous? Well, most people yeah, no, I would. Okay, if they say no, fuck, you're in for a tough day. But generally if they say yes, they're going to buy the same day. Agenda, always set the agenda, right? Set the tone. We aren't here to fuck about. This is what we're going to discuss today, okay? Is that cool with you? Cool that I take the lead? Okay, and that's them giving you permission for you to control the conversation. Has anybody, show of hands, ever had a sales call where the guy's just talking over the top of you all the time and they want to ask this and they want to ask that? Yeah? Okay, cool. That's because you aren't controlling the conversation. You need to control the conversation. That's why you say at the start, do you mind if I take the lead, right? And some people might think it's rude to talk over the top of someone if they start to take over. So in that scenario, and like write this down, if somebody starts to like ramble on, you're like, fuck me, they fucking never fuck up, right? Just go, you can't just say, oh, here, stop there, this is taking too long. What I want you to say is, take something that they just said and be like, sorry, do you mind if I cut across you there? That's interesting, you just said this about this. And then you just go, all right, and then move on. Just move on to the next part of your script, right? That's how you just take control. Because that also sounds like you were listening to them. Which you should be, by the way. I don't want you to think I'm suggesting you don't, okay? I don't take on everyone, okay? This is really important as part of it. It's more effective. It's actually true. We don't take on everybody. Helmi's touched on this earlier. It puts you in control. They now think about, how do I get onto this program when they're not needing to be sold on, right? Okay, as opposed to them waiting for you to sell them on, okay? So it switches the whole offense-defense thing. They've went from being in defense mode, being like, I don't want to be sold onto this, to being like, fuck, how do I get onto this, right? When/if they're offered a space, they're going to feel grateful. Qualification. People will waste your time just to find out info. They don't care how busy you are, right? They don't care that you've got fucking 1,000,001 things to do. You got to edit content, you got to do this, you got to deliver to your client. Nobody gives a fuck. They just don't. People are rude, right? What you want to make sure is, can they afford it? Can they make a decision without a spouse? And this is really just confirming that what the stuff that they'll have already answered in your Calendly. This should already be on the Calendly, right? And your pre-sales vid should sort this too. But if you feel the need, you can go over this again. I just think it's really important to hammer it and just be like, look, let's make sure we're on the same page here. Because realistically, if you're doing a 45-minute to an hour-long sales call, it's a lot of time out of your day for someone who's just never going to sign up, okay? Problems and obstacles, right? Why did they reach out for help? Why now and not 6 months ago? Why is it a priority to do this now? Okay, so I'm going to go over these, right? Why did they reach out for help? Okay, so we want to understand, like, what was the breaking point for them that they decided to reach out? Most people, especially with you guys, will have a point where they've got to, where they've went, fuck, I really need to lose a bit of weight here, or I need to do this, or I need to do that, okay? It could be something like, I need to fit in a wedding dress. It could be anything, right? Then you want to hit them with, so why do it now and not 6 months ago? Okay, and the reason for that is you're hammering home, we should do this today. Okay, so you're always hammering home, we should do this today, not 6 months ago. Why is it a priority to do it now? Okay, again, you're always hammering home, why should we do it now? Get them to talk out loud, like, why should we do this today? And they're constantly reconfirming, I should do this today because of this. What are the three main obstacles? Okay, I'm calling them obstacles here because I've kind of come away from calling things problems. I think that obstacles is a better word. It sounds like something you can help them overcome as opposed to a problem, which is inherently negative. So it's up to you ultimately, but I prefer the word obstacles. What impact is that having on them? Okay, so get them to talk about, like, what kind of impact day to day do these problems have on you? Oh, well, you know, I don't feel confident in my skin, or I don't this, or whatever. What's failed to fix it so far? Okay, so what have you done to try and fix this? Like, why has it not worked? And they'll be like, oh, well, you know, I bought Joe Wicks and I fucking did YouTube stuff and blah, 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 and all the rest of it, okay? And you'd be like, right, well, that didn't work, did it? No, okay, maybe we should look at something else. If nothing changes, how's that going to look for them, okay? And then, ultimately, is this something you want to solve now or solve down the road? And most of the time, they're going to say, yeah, I want to solve it now. So let's get into goals, okay? Get them to believe in their ability to do this, okay? We really want to hammer home, like, you can do this, right? This is a chance for you to actually achieve these goals, okay? I can make that happen for you. What would you like to achieve if you look back in a year's time? Frame long term, not 12 weeks, okay? This has been talked about multiple times today, most recently there by Daniel, okay? We're framing the long term from the sales call. We're not even framing it from, the onboarding call. We're framing it from like right now, okay? You're not signing up for 12 weeks. What is it you want to do in a year? What are their 3 main goals? I always say in the call, if me and you were sitting down together for a coffee in a year's time, and I actually say the date out loud, I'm always like, all right, it's 24th of November today, 23rd of November, we're sat on a park bench having a wee coffee, just reminiscing about the last year. What are the 3 big things that you'd like to have achieved by then? And it starts to get in the picture of the park bench, the picture us having the coffee, the picture going, oh, fuck yeah, I'd really like to do this, or really like to do that, or really like to drive a Ferrari, whatever. What are the real reasons behind the goals? This is actually more important than the goals themselves. Like, what's the actual reason behind the goals, okay? Anybody that's ever spoke to me on the phone will understand what I'm talking about here, right? Because most people will come on and they'll say, well, I want to do a 10K month. Okay, it's like, right, great, okay. I want more freedom. Oh, all right, okay, great. I want more of this and want more of that, right? People always want more of something. But why do they want more of something? Like 10K a month in your bank account's great, but why do you want it? Like, what's the actual reason behind it? Why does this person want to lose weight? Okay, this could be somebody in their 40s, a dad reaching out to you goes, oh, well, do you know what? I want to live long enough to see my kids grow up, or I want to do this. That's the reason, okay? The reason isn't the goal. The reason's behind the goal, okay? So 9 times out of 10, when I ask somebody what's the real reason behind wanting to hit a 10K month, like, what would you spend it on? They'll be like, oh, well, do you know what? Actually, I want to retire my parents, or I want to do this, or I want to do this for my family, or like there's a deeper meaning. So that's the goal. The goal is to retire the parents. The goal is to do this. The goal is to do that. The goal is not the money. The money is what enables them to do it, but it's not the goal itself. Okay, so that's really, really, really important, is that you hammer that home. Like, what is the real goal here? And you're, again, the one to help facilitate them that. And is it something new, or is it something they've always wanted? Again, this helps trigger a lot of emotion too, because this could be something like, like if I say, oh, like you want to make a 10K, you want to do this, you want to drive a Ferrari or whatever, and you'd be like, oh yeah, I always grew up and, my dad like took me to the F1 and I've always loved Ferrari, I was a big Michael Schumacher fan, I'd be like, that. Then they're thinking all of this stuff and you're like, fuck right, I really want this Ferrari, like I better sign up to this program. So again, I want you to think like that. I want you to get really deep into their psyche of why do they want to do this. And then ask them, can they do it without you? Like, have you got a plan in place to do this now? Like 99% of the time, no. Otherwise, why would they be speaking to you? Okay, so we always want to round up at the end of these, okay? And this is all in the script, right? You've got the script. Go back over everything, remind them of all the shit, and then remind them of all the goals, why it's important to them. Get micro commitments from them, okay? Get them saying yes as many times as possible. So, for example, Emmett, say silk 3 times for me.
Silk, silk, silk.
Spell silk 3 times for me.
S-I-L-K, S-I-L-K, S-I-L-K.
What's a cow drink?
Milk.
No, cow drinks water, but I didn't think you were going to do this. I guess fuckers heard this before, right? But so the whole idea, right, is getting them, training the brain to say yes, okay? So oh, right. So yes, yes, yes. Comfortable everything, yes. Okay. Everything making sense so far, yes. Okay. Get them saying yes. The brain's trained to say yes. If you're getting them used to saying no, if you're getting them used to saying negative, then they're not going to be in the right frame of mind to say yes when you ask them for the business at the end. Okay. And lastly, always confirm with them, like, what have they taken from this process so far? Like, what do they actually enjoy about it? Like, what's interesting about it? Like, what have they taken from it? Okay, because then they're going to hammer home to you to be like, do you know what? I didn't realize that I had the potential to do this, or I didn't realize I had the potential to do blah, 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 right? traffic light system. Okay, I just did a training on this recently. The traffic light system is really, really, really basic. Like everybody in this room will know we use a traffic light system to sort of gauge how you are. You can do this to gauge how your clients are on the sales call. So I use an app called Reflector 4. It's not very expensive. It shares my iPad onto the screen. I was tempted to do it today, but every time I'll do a live event and share my iPad on the screen, it doesn't fucking work. So I decided not to stress myself out with that. But what you're basically doing here is you're getting them to score themselves in different areas of their health and fitness, okay? We obviously do it in different areas of your business, okay? We do it in 8 different areas: marketing, lead gen, sales, delivery, retention, time, money, systems, right? You guys could do it in how often do you go to the gym, what's your step count, do you do any cardio, what's your nutrition like, blah, 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 right? And again, you want them to score themselves: red, which is shit; amber, which is okay; green, which is perfect, okay? And this isn't like to trick anybody out or manipulate anybody. This is literally just to get like an overview of like where are you at with your health and fitness, okay? If it's a sea of reds or it's a sea of ambers or it's a sea of greens or whatever, it's gonna help them visualize: do they need help? Why do they need help? Is it important to them to get help? And it's gonna help you visualize as well: how do I help this person as well, okay? Like, I know right now that if like Helmy was to take somebody on a call and they give themselves all green, he would just tell them to fuck off. He'd be like, no, I'm not working with you, you're fucking naive, right? Okay? This also helps you identify whether they're actually gonna be a good client or not, because if they're not realistic with where their goals are at, there's no point signing them up. Again, we're going back to the roundups and micro commitments, okay? You wanna do the silk again? So again, go back over everything at this point, everything, the entire thing, okay? Remind them why it's important. Get micro commitments from them. Get them saying yes as many times as possible. And what have they taken from the traffic light exercise? Most people will say, yeah, it's actually just a very good visual overview of how all of this works, okay? It's a good visual overview of where I'm at with my health and fitness. It's a good visual overview of where I'm at with my business, whatever, okay? Because a lot of people are visual learners too. So it's all well and good them saying out loud that things are shit, but when they look on a page and they see a sea of red or a sea of ambers, they're like, oh, fuck, things are really shit. And then invite them to join, okay? Invite to join before the price, okay? So don't do the price. Don't be like, oh yeah, by the way, it costs $2,500 for my program, and do you want to join it? And then they're like, fucking hell, $2,500, I don't want to join that, right? Invite them to join before the price, okay? So I'd like to offer you a place on my program if you're still interested after going through all that together. And they'll be like, fuck yeah, that sounds really good, right? Sweet. And then what I like to do is I like to actually invite them onto the program before I even explain how the program works, because generally this kind of helps you judge like how keen they actually are. If they're like, yeah, fuck, I don't even know how it works, I'm fucking into this, like I'm in, right? Okay? Then when you start to explain it, and you explain it well, okay, it really, really, really ties them in, okay? And then frame it that you'd love to work with them, having gone through everything, they'll still be interested in a spot. Now sell the program. Cover off the key areas of your program and how it will help them, okay? Highlight the areas of the program that will interest them the most. Plan, training, support, accountability, and community, okay? So if someone has specifically spoken about community to you, hammer home the community, like hammer home like the live, oh, we do these live events 4 times a year and we do this and we do that and like the community is awesome and everybody's there to help each other and everybody, like don't lie obviously, but like, you know, like really fucking build it up, right? Okay? If community is a big part of your program and they're interested in community, you're stupid if you don't hammer home community. All right? If they've hammered home that they need a lot of accountability, if they're like, I was with a coach before and you didn't really keep me accountable and like I really need somebody to be on top of me, hammer home the levels of accountability that you're going to do, which I'm sure you're going to be doing a lot more after Helmy's training today. So hammer that home, the accountability, okay? Likewise, if they come on to you and they're just basically like, look mate, I just want a training plan and nutrition, then hammer home how good your training plan and your nutrition is. Don't even really talk about the community stuff, okay? But hammer them all home. And after each sort of section, be like, is this the kind of thing that you're looking for right now? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay? Now, towards the end, why us? Again, this is before the price. The price always comes last. 2 important questions. Why do you want to work with me? why would you make a good client? Okay? It highlights you're serious about what you do and puts them into a mode where they're selling themselves to you, not being sold to. Okay? So we're always looking for them to not be in defense mode and them to be in offense mode. You want them to sell themselves into your program, not the other way around, okay? So why do you want to work with me? Oh, well, I really like what you do on social media. It really resonates with me, blah, 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 blah. Why would you make a good client? And then they're going to hammer home. Like, everybody says the same stuff to this question, and then not everybody always does it. But, it's going to be like, oh, well, I'll respond to every message. I'll do every check-in. I'll never miss a session. I'll blah, 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 blah. And really, like, at that point, they're so bought into this, the price should be irrelevant because you should have already worked out by now that they can afford it. So, present the payment options. Explain your pricing options, okay? Always try to get 3 months up front, okay? It's lazy to just go like, you can do 3 months up front, or if you want to pay me weekly or like whatever, like try and get the 3 months up front. That's how you're going to build your business up, okay? Into your rolling monthly back end, okay? So it could be 697 into 129 a month, whatever, okay? Highlight right now, this is automatic, and it's 30 days notice in writing if they want to move on. Otherwise, you just continue until told otherwise. But most clients stay once over a year, right? Again, we're hammering the long term here, okay? Drill in the long term, okay? And then finish with an assumptive close. And an assumptive close, if anybody doesn't know, is where you're assumptively closing it, okay? So just finish like, so we'll get you signed up today then, get you started on Monday, and just don't say anything else. They'll say yes, okay? They should do. So that is basically how that works, okay? So again, this part I really want to hammer home because we've talked about this with a lot of clients recently where people are coming to the end of the 3 months and they're like, well, like, should I send them a text message or should I bring it up or shouldn't? Like, anytime you bring up leaving, you're just opening the door and going, yes or no, okay? Just fucking keep the door closed. Right? Don't open the door. Never open the door to leave, okay? If you open the door to leave, a lot of the times they're going to take it, right? Unless they're like a real grade A client. Okay? Now, tell them how you're going to take the payment, okay? So, happy enough to go ahead with that? Yes. Great. I'm just going to get you set up on Stripe. Your Stripe should already be open. Get them all set up. I literally have Stripe open. I have Calendly open. I have their Typeform open if they did fill in a Typeform, and I copy and paste across all their details into Calendly, and I just talk shit at this point. I'm just like, I don't want them overthinking anything. I'm just like, yeah, so cool, so we're going to do this next, and we're going to do that next, and anything planned for the weekend? And like, this is the time when I talk shit to them. There's no other time where I'm talking shit, right? Okay, see all that like going off the line? I'm like a million miles off the line at this point. I'm like, oh, great. I don't want them thinking about anything at this point, right? Okay, get them all set up now. Process the payment. Take the payment over Stripe. No payment links. I hate hearing about payment links. If anybody says payment link to me again in that Facebook group, I'm going to lose my mind, right? No payment links. Process it in Stripe there and then. Get the money and confirm, okay? Because if you send a payment link, you're just leaving it to fate. Maybe they'll sign up. Maybe they won't. They probably won't, okay? If you let anybody off the call without signing up, they're not signing up. Something always happens, right? Especially with like health and fitness. Like if you have a sales call with somebody on a Friday and they go out on a Friday night in the pool, and they're like, fuck, what do I need to lose weight for? I'm still riding, right? So that's how I ended up getting really fat anyway. I was like, I don't need to lose weight. So, right? Then immediately send your agreement for signing over HelloSign. Get them to sign the contract, okay? Get them in, get them signed up, because once that's done, you can get them onboarded, right? I hate hearing from people being like, oh, I closed that deal, you're going to be a great client, blah, 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 and they don't onboard them for 3 days. What happens in that 3 days? They get buyer's remorse, and they go, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Can I have a refund? Or just send me back like the last 2 months, you can keep the 1 month, don't worry about it, right? Happens all the time. Onboard ASAP. We onboard you the same day. We created a system, right, an automation system that was so slick. Like, you'll know yourself if you're well, you should all know because you're all clients, right? You get onboarded the same day. Like, there's no waiting around. Like, you're in, boom, signed up, start the program, let's get going, right? If I don't know probably how many people would potentially drop off if we were like, yeah, we'll get you set up in the next week, right? That's a week, and then sat there for a week going, oh, fuck, do I really want to do this? Oh, that's a lot, blah, 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 right? Onboard, same day, right? So I want to take you through some different closes, because sometimes I talk about closes and people are like, oh, I don't know what that means, or I don't know what that is, right? They're at the bottom of the script. Like, they're at the very bottom of the script, right? Okay, so there's multiple different closes you can use. I like the assumptive close, which is just like, let's get you set up today, and we'll start on Monday, yeah? Yeah, cool, all right. So that's an assumption, right? You're assuming they're gonna sign up. There's the alternative close, which is when you give them two options, okay? So you can be like, well, yeah, you can either pay it upfront today, or you can do a split payment of X and Y. The first payment's today, and the second payment's in a month. Which one do you want to do? One second, take questions at the end. Okay? So it's one or the other. Alternative close, you give them two options, you pick one. Again, semi-assumptive there, you're picking one of them, right? I haven't put them in there, but I'm just going to go through them actually because I think we've got time. So I call this one the Audi close, right? But I just call it that because I learned it when I was at Audi. And we used to come back from test drives and we used to say to people, so on a scale of 1 to 10, a 10 being like, I'm driving this car home today, and 1 being like, Stephen, I fucking hate you, never speak to me ever again. Where would you put yourself? Nobody ever says 1, right? Because like people just aren't that rude, okay? Most people say 8, or if they did really love it, they're gonna say 10, right? Most people say 8, so you can then turn around to them and say, 8, that's pretty good, right? Okay, so what do we need to do to get you to a 10? And then they're gonna tell you what you need to overcome, okay? Or the other way you can do that one is you can be like, you can do it the opposite way around, okay? So you can be like, right, 8's great. Why did you say 8? And they tell you everything they love about the program, and then you can attack the stuff they don't love after it, okay? And in the still in your bank close, I think it's like a more brutal one. And that's where people are like, yeah, I don't know about the money, blah, 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 all the rest of it. And then you can say, well, look, would you rather have a 6-pack in 12 weeks, or would you rather have 600 quid sat in your bank account? And they go, fuck, I'd rather have the 6-pack. So those are different closes. Objection handling, again, these are at the bottom of your script, okay? So revise and learn these. So it's second nature, right? Reading off a script for these is wank. You need to know these, okay? That's Tony McAlevyism there. So make sure that you actually have these memorized, that you've actually read over these, you know what they are. So when somebody says something with an objection handle, you actually know what it is, because it needs to be immediate. You can't go, 1 second, I fucking check the script here. You don't have any money. It says here, right? Okay. You need to just fucking ping it out. Okay, so finally, the script works. Stick to the format. Don't change too much of it. Definitely don't skip large sections of it. I don't mind if you change how you say certain things, but you have to stick to the actual format, because when you don't stick to the format, it just doesn't work. And practice, practice, practice. I'm forever saying to the CM guys, and I know some of them do it and some of them don't, is create accountability groups and do practice calls with each other. Literally just one of you be the client and one of you be yourself, and then switch over, right? There's a lot of people who have a lot of time that they're just not doing anything with, right? Okay, so practice, 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 and without changing the format, make it your own. Thank you. All right, great. I'm not a huge fan of questions in the middle of the presentation, but I'll take as many questions as you want now. So there's one at the back there.
So you see how you're charging, so if you offer it up front or else split pay, do you just divide it in two, or would you charge slightly more?
Slightly more. So the question for the front was, if you're doing the split pay option, do you charge more, right? And the answer to that is you always charge more. So if you're let's just use round numbers, for example, right? Let's say your program is 500 on the dot. The split pay would be 550 divided by 2. So you always charge a bit more. So if you're going to do staggered payments, you're adding on interest, basically, right? Because you're not getting it up front. You're also taking the gamble that they pay the second payment, which sometimes, I'll be honest with you, they don't. So
for anyone who's about sales, not Stephen won't even do a call for Nexus anymore, because it's zero hassle. It's 100% close them. So it's one of the things where take the weight of the word, because it's one of the things if he can close a CM sale 90%, that's a lot higher of a pipeline than where a lot of people are selling. So just realize that all the channel, all the setups seem like a lot of hassle. But see, even that pre-sales video, they come ready, they're buying, it's so fucking, it's
yeah.
Whenever he says I got a call booked, and I'm like, right, what are we going to if they're doing a call, I'm like, they're fucked. That's it, simple. So do lean in, because there's no point doing all the rails, all the hard work, and then spunking it in a fucking call because you've not rehearsed one objection, one line, because it just needs to be off the tongue.
As long as it's off the tongue, those objection handles are just gonna. But the whole. Do you have a question? Oh, sorry, I thought I saw your hand up during the middle of it. all of the process before is just as important as the sale. So I always want you to think processes, okay? So that's a big chunk of your sale right there. Confidence, okay? So it doesn't even matter what you're saying. It's like, does this guy exude confidence, yes or no? And then the script itself, right? All of these little bits make it all up, okay? So if you're missing one bit, you don't have another, you're just not going to close, okay? And ultimately, like, you just don't want to be spending 45 minutes, an hour. Like, we've changed the format to 2 calls now from next week because I just kept building out the script more and more and more because I was like, I'm closing everybody, like everybody's getting closed, right? And it ended up being like a 90-minute call, and I was like, I can't be spending 90 minutes on the phone, right? So that's basically where you're at with it. So any other questions? Leighton, yeah? 1 second, mate. You know what? I'm going to do the mic here, and then so everybody can hear. Oh, I know, like lightning. Put my speeder. Yeah, you do it. That's easier. Should be on. Oh, here. 1 second.
Just shout.
Shout for now.
So, you know, when you say starting someone up on a 3-month upfront payment, how would you navigate getting them into the back end without leaving it look like an option? So, say the 3 months is up and you want them to sign up to the back end, rather than sign up to that back end immediately as you take the payment. Because I did recently where someone was like, oh yeah, I've just realised my 3 months is up and I've been having to think and like, yeah, I'm gonna go my own way kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's because I didn't.
Yeah. So like the way I would do it is, and the way I want you to do it is, you take the upfront payment, and then you immediately, as soon as you do that, you go into subscriptions because the customer's already built, right? You go straight to subscriptions. You should have the product built, and you set it for 3 months' time. And you don't ever talk about it ever again.
How would you want, or did you want the clarification on how to word that?
Like, not how to word it, but like, so say the way like we sign up for Nexus, where you take that payment and then you discount the first month.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a way of doing that on Stripe that just kind of rolls them into the back end?
No, because your upfront payments on Stripe. So that's what we actually do. So you pay an invoice payment, and then our system, which the guys at Graphic have for us, that's why you have to take the free month, because it's a separate system. That's the only reason why. So if we actually go back to, so what you want to do, like I said there, is you just want to like actually have it just straight roll in. So you just go take the payment, so that the upfront payment is always its own product, it's its own invoice, right? And then you want to have a subscription set up for your back end rolling, okay? And you literally just schedule that to start 3 months time. Okay, so if you're signing them up today, 24th of November, what's that? 24th December, January, so 24th February it starts.
Yeah, so you don't need the additional permission because you've outlined it.
Yeah. No, shut up, Siri. Right. So yeah, you're telling them on the sales call. So you're actually saying on the sales call, this is how this works.
Okay, yeah.
And then, because you've told them, and then you're going to put it in your agreement as well. Okay. And then you just say to them, look, I need 30 days notice if you want to leave.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's as simple as that. And like most, like that's how, it's not like, a lot of people are like, whoa, fucking, this sounds like a lot. Most businesses operate that way. If you want to leave, like, if you sign up with like a graphic designer, you sign up with a copywriter, you sign up with anybody, like they'll expect 30 days notice to terminate an agreement. So you're just doing the same thing.
Okay,
Yeah, so no bother. You might get people at month 2 that then go, no, fuck, I'm here for 90 days, I might. But it's going to be a very small percentage, especially if you over-deliver and you frame long-term, like Dargan's saying, where it's like, we're going to do chest and delts, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and blah, 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 blah. So.
See, with the certainty scale that you spoke about with Audi,
Yeah.
would you try and find what element they're uncertain in, whether it's kind of you, the product,
Yeah.
or...
Yeah, so how I would frame that is, so if they say, right, I'm an 8, right, okay, right, an 8, that's pretty good, okay. So I would say, like, what is the difference between an 8 and a 10? And then they're going to say, well, I'm not too sure about the price. Okay, now I attack the price. Is there anything else you're not unsure of? No, it's just the price. Okay, and then you go into, so what if I did 3 monthly payments for you instead? Oh, I could make that work. Boom, done. Okay, or it could be something else. It could be like, 9 times out of 10 is going to be price. Most people aren't going to be like, oh, I'm unsure about you. Or they wouldn't be on a sales call with you. So that's, or they might give you a 1. You'll get a 1 then. So
would you give a bit of an intro about yourself at the start, I suppose, to overcome that, or kind of clarify any questions they have about you as a person, or they kind of get that in?
If they're at that stage, they should know who you are, because, like, I think Tony sort of touched on that earlier. Like, you're only booking in for call. Like, you didn't come onto the CM page and go, fuck, that sounds good, I'll sign up to that. you probably watched it for 3 or 4 months, and you watched Tony maybe potentially and whatever else, and you went like, oh, I'd like to work with these guys. These guys seem like they know what they're talking about. Like, that'll be the same for you. They won't have just come across you and be like,
Going off the line without realizing it, like technically, isn't it? When we
Yeah.
start talking about it, it's like,
yeah, that's just you're taking yourself off the line there. Yeah, so no, wouldn't worry about it. People are gonna know who you are when they're having a call with you.
any other questions or?
Yep, one's got one.
So, see when you say if it's an 8 out of 10 and the last two is a price, how much would you, like sometimes price is going to be a smoke screen?
Yeah.
How much would you press them on the price and challenge them on that before you maybe go, right, listen, if it's really priced in the way, I hate for that to get in the way, let's go for this option. How much would you sort of press them before you come up with a different option for them?
I mean, I would press people pretty hard because I'm just kind of like, for me, I'm just like, if I'm on a sales call, we've already spent an hour together, like, I want the sale, like, do you know what I mean? Like, so, like, if it's going to take another 10 minutes to get it, I'm going to go on for another 10 minutes. It's going to take another 20 minutes. Like, I'll be like a dog with a bone, right? So, unless you genuinely, like, if somebody's like we talked about this in Marbella, actually, and, like, because there's definitely guys in the CM, like, very few of them that are like, I really just need to have a think about it because I got burnt by, like, another business mentor before. Like, that's, like, one where I'm just going to lay off you because, like, it's a big, you've already been burnt. So now, yeah, have a think about it. But those people tend to come around and actually buy. If they're just saying, I need to have a think about it,
It's difficult because that's where they've actually went through, like, if anybody's had a phone call with a mentorship, you've had all the peer pressure, you've had it all. So then if we come across with the exact same approach,
you're like, you guys are the fucking same.
You go, relax, you take your time, you're like, oh, they're different. And you immediately stand out. So it's almost taking it person by person. So you can figure out if they've had a call with another coach. For example, with where you are in your niche, you have quite a lot of authority, in my opinion. So you can just turn around and go, like, this is what you need.
Tony, that's how you close me.
But yeah, so like if they're saying right, it's the price, and be like, right, okay, well if it's the price, I would just ask first, goes, is just the price? Is the price the only thing? Right, okay. So you love the rest of the program? Yeah, I love the rest of everything, and you just hammer home like you love that, everything's great, blah blah blah. If price wasn't an issue, would you sign up right now? Yeah. Okay. Now I attack the price. Yeah. So then you go, right, okay. So what is it about the price? Is it the upfront payment? Yeah, it's the upfront payment. Right, okay, well what if I split it up for you? Oh yeah, I can make it. Oh no, I still couldn't make that work. Right. Okay. Well, look, the only thing I can't, like, the price is the price. I can't make it cheap. I can't make a discount completely. But I could let you pay it over 3 months. How would that sound? And then go from there. If they say no to that, then like fuck it, you know what I mean? There's only so many. That's the other option. Is then you have a downsell. You can be like, look, I have, you know, whatever. I've got my hybrid option. I need to downsell on that. So, perfect. Any other questions? We've got time. So, Alan.
You seem like when you're saying get the goal and then remind them of the shift.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would it be a case of say when you're on the phone with them, like do the 5 whys, like say like everyone's body fat, but why? And then get the whole way down to the 5th one, and then at the end of the call be like, okay, you want to lose your fat because of this. Is that like a good way to kind of get that pain point across?
So I would just follow, the script. Like I think just the framework of the script is the way it always sticks. So you're getting your 3 big issues, right? So the 3 big problems. Then you're hammering home on each issue, okay? What kind of impact does that have on you, right? Okay, well, has this impact on me, right? What have you done to try to fix it? Why hasn't it worked, okay? What happens if nothing changes, okay? So they're hammered home several times in that. Is this something you want to fix now or later? Now, okay? So whenever you go back to remind them of all that, you want to go through each one of those points. So you want to go, right, just want to, and I always say this as well, I always say that, I always go like, I just want to make sure I've gotten this right. And they'll always be like, yeah, you know, you've gotten that right. So always make sure you write down exactly what they've said so that whenever you're going over it, say it as they've said it. You said blah, blah, blah. Okay, you said this, you said, yeah, that's true. And then when you go over the goals, you said you wanted to do this because of this. Yeah, I did. So you're constantly rounding them up, just going through it and just going through it. Does that answer your question? Is that? Yeah?
Like anything you say will be held.
Yeah.
That's what he said to me. I was like, it's like saying something to police officer, you're like, fuck, it's on body cam.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It'll be held against you in a court of law. Any other quick cues? Anything? Questions? Are we good? Cool. Happy days. Thank you.